We're going to start the video today with a lot of requests that were given to me after my first video. So I told you in the beginning that I wanted to tell you guys about what I do and how I do it, and how you would get into it. So we'll start the video today with an overview of my kayak. So I'll pull the kayak out of the back of the truck and go over some things with you guys and talk briefly about, you know, some of the quick things that you may need to know or may want to know as you're looking for what do you put on the kayak, and the things that you might use or buy at the store to help make your fishing experience a little bit more comfortable and more convenient for you. Obviously there's lots of different things that you guys can choose from to change out, but I'm going to show you quickly what I put on my kayak and how I've got it arranged before I go out after I get it unloaded from the pickup truck. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Alright guys, here's my setup. I have a Hobie Pro Angler 12-foot long 360 drive. 360 means that this thing can turn on a dime and do 360 degrees rotation. 360 degrees rotation, excuse me. So let's go over some of the stuff that I got on my kayak. So starting from the back, you definitely want to have one of these things, the red flags hanging off the back when you are traveling. Not necessarily important, and actually, to be honest with you, before I go fishing, I take that thing off because it's just a little bit of extra drag in the water when you're driving around. So secondly is safety. You definitely want to have safety. You want to make sure that you've got one of these poles with the safety flag. I got mine from Yak Attack, and this one has a light on the top, so if you go fishing after dark or are fishing into the evening, you're definitely going to want to turn that thing on so that people can, and other boaters, watercraft, can see you in the water. I have a cooler on the back of my kayak. I like to keep my lunch in there, and some ice, so if I catch some fish I can put them in there. The oars are pretty standard when you buy a kayak from Hobie. They come with the oars, and they have mounts over here right there for them. This is my parking pole. I keep that stored up inside of there, and I'll show you guys how to use that a little bit later today. But that's my parking pole. I always bring water with me. I've got a Camelback that I hook to the back of my chair, and then that way when I'm thirsty I can just grab that sucker and take a sip of water without having to pull out a whole water bottle or something from my cooler. So something else that you guys probably ought to know that is pretty specific to Hobie is the fact that these chairs come out. They can actually be like beach chairs for you if you want to take it out of there and eat lunch on the shore somewhere. So they'd come out really easy without any screws or anything. They just sit in there, and they've got a retainer in there to hold them and keep them from falling out. I use a Lowrance fish finder. I've got a Hook Reveal 7. It does not have navigation with it. They do have options that have navigation in there with them as well, but I don't have that on my model. And a Berkeley Pro sun visor just helps keep the sun off of it so that you can see your screen whenever you need to or want to. It comes with I have a 360 drive Hobie gear here. So this actually pretty interesting here. This has a kick up fin, and this one just happened to be popped from the back of my truck. So what you do is you actually just take it and click it back in there, and that's there for design safety. And it prevents you from breaking or bending your poles if you run up on some oysters or a rock or shallow water. So those who have not got the turbo kick-up fins, you're gonna probably bend those fins if you don't have the kick-up function in there. And it's really easy to pop back in. I used to use one hand. You guys probably saw that as I did that. You've got a storage up at the front. I usually keep a little bit of some rags. That's where I keep my battery for my fish finder, and I've got my attachment. There's all kinds of attachments. That attachment there is for my GoPros. Actually, I don't use GoPro. I use Osmo Action. They're a little bit cheaper, and that's what I'm actually talking to you guys through right now. It's pretty good action camera system. Got a little pair of pliers here for you to see here, and it's real important to make sure that you clean your stuff. And if you look at these, you can actually see that there's a little bit of corrosion on there. Working in salt water makes your stuff corrode super fast, so make sure that you rinse your stuff off as soon as you get home. Got some storage right there underneath the place where you keep your feet when you're not pedaling, and there's plenty of room in there for keep your wallet, your keys, and other things. And I keep my rods inside of the kayak. The Hobie has 2 on this side and 2 on the other side for you to put the poles in. It just keeps them out of the way while you're out fishing. Got plenty of rod holders. This is how you steer the boat. This is for the 360 drive, and that goes up into the front compartment where the drive goes in, and basically makes it so you maneuver very easily. This is for your rudder control. You can turn left and right, and that rudder is in the back here underneath, and there's controls for the rudder on both the left and right side. So that's an added function that you're not going to see on, I don't think any other kayak has that other than Hobie. But there's my traveling wheels. I stick those in through the scupper holes, and they pop up right here. And I'll show you guys how that comes out here in a little while. But that's basically a quick walk around, and there's lots of functions. You can actually stand up in this one. I like the way that Hobie has it, so you can actually stand up in this kayak and do some maneuvering without having to keep your feet into specific orientations for a plastic molding in there. So that's a quick walk around of my kayak, but I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about what it is, what it does, show you how the rudder retracts, and then the skeg that also retracts, and there's another view of my wheels that you guys can see. So that's pretty much it for now. Let's go ahead and get this baby in the water and show you guys how we do that. Alright, so there we go. We are on the water, and we are currently traveling out. We're going to our first location, and we're just going to try to figure out where the fish are today. One of the things that I thought was going to be fun for today is not checking the tides. So I didn't check the tides today, and I didn't do that for a specific reason. And the reason I did that was sometimes you may be out and you want to get into the water and go fishing, but you didn't have time to check the tides, but you just want to get out of town, get on the water, and just kind of have a good afternoon. So what we're going to do is take the tides as they are. Okay, so this time it looks like the tides are pretty low, and they'll be coming in here in a little bit. And what we're going to do is just kind of take it as it is today, right? So we're going to find some places to go and find some shallow areas and anchor down and try to find us some fish. All right. Oh, got me something. Let's see what we got. Ah, it feels like a little flounder. Oh, it's a red. Look at that. A juvenile red. Look at you, pretty girl. Wow, look at that, look at that. Almost swallowed that. Shrimp. Look at that, pretty fish. Probably about 14 inches, maybe a little less, 12 to 14. 12 inches, I'm gonna say. I love that blue tail. Look at that, that's beautiful. Nice job. Hey there now. Sit still for me, beautiful. All right, thanks for the fun, girl. You have a good day. All right, the skunk's out of the boat, y'all. Skunk is out of the boat. Oh, that feels like an oyster. Oh, I was right. Boy, the way those oysters fight is just amazing. So if you catch an oyster like that, don't toss it in the water. Just drop it back down, because you don't want to scare them fish that may be just hanging out down there. You know?